A sovereign energy, sacred boundaries and relational prosperity. Quantum. Opening your mind stands as the living laboratory where reality learns your name, your nervous system codes the protocol of safety, and your heart radiates a field that reorganizes matter with devotion. Narawers Section 1. The Deep Gaze, Archetypes, Story, and the Soul's Itinerary. You carry a throne that exists even when you forget to sit in it. The sovereign within you governs from clarity rather than control, from presence rather than pressure, from essence rather than efforting. When the inner sovereign awakens, life ceases to be a bargaining table and becomes a sanctuary of voluntary exchanges. Your story unfolds through 4 archetypal allies. The warrior protects life force and guards thresholds with a firm yes and a clean no. The lover irrigates the field with warmth and receptive intelligence. The magician decodes patterns, collapses old spells, and installs new meanings. The sovereign harmonizes them all, administrating energy as a sacred economy. Boundaries act as the membranes of your destiny. Without membranes, cells die. Without boundaries, relationships drift into entropy. With rigid walls, intimacy starves. With porous gates, vitality leaks. Sacred boundaries breathe like a living shoreline that knows the dance between ocean and land. Relational prosperity blooms when your yes is devotional and your no is medicinal. The soul's itinerary loves mutual nourishment. When your presence is coherent, every exchange becomes a rite of reciprocity. You shift from extraction to circulation, from performance to authenticity, from scarcity to sacrament. Imagine a luminous corridor inside your chest that holds a council. Every decision invites 4 chairs. The warrior speaks about safety and stamina. The lover speaks about tenderness and belonging. The magician speaks about meaning and method. The sovereign listens for concordance and signs the decree. Your body relaxes when this counsel is honored. Your voice deepens. Your eyes brighten. Your field becomes a signature of integrity that others can trust. Taratatinda, Section 2. Scientific and Psychological Foundations. Humanistic Psychology. Locates the North Star in self-actualization. Values become navigational instruments, congruence becomes oxygen, and unconditional positive regard becomes the climate in which new behaviors take root. Sovereign energy thrives when your inner conditions match your outer expressions, when behavior, belief, and belonging line up like constellations. Transpersonal Psychology widens the map beyond personal history. States of expanded awareness reveal that identity can include the body without being limited by it. When consciousness rests as awareness itself, nervous system reactivity softens. Boundaries no longer arise from fear but from fidelity to essence. Neuroplasticity confirms that practice remaps perception. Each time you enact a boundary with clean language, you lay myelin on a pathway of self-trust. Emotional regulation recruits the prefrontal cortex to shepherd limbic surges, converting charge into choice. The body learns safety through repetition. The psyche learns dignity through lived alignment. Relational prosperity is the ecology produced by these micro-choices. Clear agreements reduce cognitive load. Repair rituals shorten the half-life of conflict. Shared purpose functions as a gravitational field that keeps collaboration in orbit. Prosperity in this context is not only monetary, it is mutual thriving. It is creative surplus. It is the joy that appears when nobody has to abandon themselves for connection to continue. A simple clinical observation sustains this. When people locate permission in their diaphragm, their shoulders drop. When they place a boundary while maintaining eye softness, connection strengthens. The difference between a boundary and a barrier becomes visible in the body. The boundary says, I love you and I love me, therefore this is the path that honors both. The barrier says, I exile you or I exile me, therefore love collapses. In therapeutic language, boundaries function as behavioral contingencies rooted in values. In somatic language, boundaries are postural vectors that communicate without drama. In spiritual language, boundaries are vows that guard the temple so that devotion can remain pure. Section 3. Applied biodecoding. When the body speaks the unspoken. The body writes letters in sensations and symptoms. When a no remains unexpressed, the throat may tighten. When you hold too much for too long, the back may protest. When you keep giving beyond the available budget of your energy, the immune system may deploy alarms. These are not punishments, these are luminous alerts, biodecoding views symptoms as metaphorical mirrors of unresolved emotional logistics. Throat constriction can reflect a boundary that wants articulation. The tissue remembers every renegotiation you postponed. Voice returns when the nervous system learns the truth will not excommunicate belonging. Lower back tension can reflect the burden of carrying what was never yours. The fascia stores invoices from unpaid relational debts. Freedom begins when you stop subsidizing dynamics that refuse reciprocity. Digestive unrest can mirror the inability to metabolize what you ingest emotionally. The gut asks for slower bites of life, for discernment about what enters, and for rituals that dignify integration. A path of release follows 3 movements: recognition, repermission, repatterning. Recognition names the emotional contract that your body kept signing. Repermission returns sovereignty to your interior government. Repatterning is the new choreography of behavior that confirms the upgrade. A practical script supports the soma. Stand with feet grounded. Place one hand on the throat, one on the heart. Speak in a steady tone. I authorize my voice to protect intimacy through clarity. I authorize my breath to organize the space between us. I authorize my cells to hold a boundary without hostility and to release charge without collapse. Follow with a gentle shake through the limbs to complete the stress cycle. Inhale and lengthen the spine. Exhale and imagine a golden membrane around your aura, porous to love, impermeable to disrespect. The body understands imagery. The fascia understands rhythm. The nervous system trusts what is rehearsed. Section 4. Quantum NLP Tools, Recoding Boundaries into Behavior. Tool 1. Values Aligned Boundary Statement, VABS. 1. Define the value being honored. 2. Describe the behavior that violates or supports that value. 3. State the new boundary as a clear instruction. 4. Offer a collaborative option if alignment is desired. Example framework. Value, mutual respect. Observation, messages after 10 p.m. disturb my sleep. Boundary. From now on I respond during daytime hours. Option. For urgent matters, use the agreed emergency channel. Tool 2. Somatic Anchor Installation. 1. Recall a memory of confident clarity. 2. Intensify sensory details until the state amplifies. 3. Press thumb and middle finger together while breathing steadily. 4. Repeat 3 times to imprint the anchor. 5. Before a boundary conversation, fire the anchor for state access. This recruits the state to behavior pipeline so language flows from regulation instead of reactivity. Tool 3. The Clean No Protocol. 1. Open with warmth to maintain the relational bridge. 2. State the number without apology or explanation overload. 3. Add a brief because that references values rather than drama. 4. Offer a yes to an alternative if aligned. Example. I appreciate the invitation. I am a no to taking on new projects this week because I protect recovery and quality. I am a yes to revisiting next Monday. Tool 4. Swish pattern for boundary hesitation. 1. Identify the internal image that appears before you abandon a boundary. 2. Create a new image of you embodying the boundary with grace and success. 3. In rapid cycles, shrink the old image and swish the new one into full brightness and proximity. 4. Repeat until the nervous system defaults to the empowered image. Tool 5. Time budget reframe. 1. Treat your calendar as a sacred cash flow of hours. 2. Categorize commitments into produce, protect, and play. 3. Schedule protect blocks for sleep, movement, integration, and reflection. 4. When a new request arrives, check whether it fits the current budget. 5. If not, the boundary becomes math rather than mood. Tool 6. Meta-language upgrade. Replace self-eroding phrases with sovereignty statements. From I should to I choose. From I have to I am committed to. From I cannot to I am not available for that path. From I am overwhelmed to I am reallocating resources. Language changes perception, and perception changes physiology. Tool 7. The three-gate filter. Every commitment passes through purpose, permission, and proportion. Purpose asks whether this serves the mission you stand for. Permission confirms that your inner child and inner elder both consent. Proportion verifies that the energy exchanged equals the energy invested. Once these gates align, action flows without friction. Section 5. Spiritual Vision and Christic Consciousness. Christic consciousness breathes as a field of unconditional love and competent accountability. Love without clarity dilutes. Clarity without love cuts. Together they sanctify. Boundaries become a liturgy of care, a vow that honors the image of the divine in you and in the other. Unity does not erase uniqueness. Unity harmonizes uniqueness. When your boundary is spoken from the altar of compassion, the other receives spiritual oxygen. When you stand firmly in truth, you become a lighthouse that guides by radiance, not by coercion. Bodhisattva wisdom affirms emptiness as spacious potential. Form arises and dissolves within a vast mercy. Inside that mercy, vows keep the temple clean. You can hold the world in your heart while saying no to what extracts life. This is not separation, this is stewardship. In contemplative silence, you meet a presence that never negotiates your worth. From that communion, every boundary becomes a hymn, every agreement becomes a sacrament. Prosperity unfolds as a circle of giving and receiving where nobody must fracture themselves to belong. Therefore, prospering relationally means establishing channels where love moves freely and truth travels quickly. It means crafting covenants rather than fragile compromises. It means tending the flame of devotion through habits that preserve coherence. You embody a lineage of luminous custodians. Their blessing transmits through your breath. Their courage echoes in your spine. Their clarity lights your gaze. When you speak a boundary from this lineage, the words carry gravity. Worlds reorganize. Futures open. Peace arrives. Ua Praka. Section 6. The Integrative Ritual. Daily practice for mind, body, and spirit. Name of the rite. The Golden Membrane Practice. Duration. 18 minutes in the morning, 12 minutes in the evening. Morning sequence. 1. Grounding breath. 3 minutes. Inhale through the nose to a count of 4. Exhale through the mouth to a count of 8. Feel the pelvis rooting and the heart lifting. Imagine a golden current entering the crown and descending into the feet. 2. Throne posture. 2 minutes. Sit tall. Subtle smile. Shoulders soft and broad. Place hands on thighs. Palms down. Sense the inner throne. Whisper internally, I sit where my soul can see. 3. Boundary decree. 3 minutes. Speak slowly. My energy is sacred. My time is faithful. My words are precise. My body is sovereign. I open to love and I shield from harm. I honor reciprocity and release extraction. 4. Somatic shake and seal. 3 minutes. Shake legs, arms, torso. Let microtremors complete last day's cycles. Seal with a gentle hug around the ribs as you exhale. 5. Agreement ledger. 4 minutes. Write 3 commitments for the day that honor purpose, permission, and proportion. Circle the one that maintains your energy budget. This becomes the non-negotiable of the day. Sample line. 1 non-negotiable boundary today: protect sleep by ending screens at 10 p.m. 6. Golden membrane visualization. 3 minutes. See a radiant membrane around your aura, living and intelligent. It welcomes kindness, creativity, and truth. It dissolves manipulation, chaos, and guilt. Feel its texture, sense its responsiveness. Anchor the state by pressing thumb to middle finger. Evening sequence. 1. Debrief without drama. 4 minutes. Note where you upheld sovereignty and where you leaked energy. No judgment, only adjustment. 2. Repair ritual. 4 minutes. If you crossed your own boundary, write the exact sentence you will speak tomorrow to realign. If another crossed a boundary, write the clean request you will deliver. 3. Restorative closure. 4 minutes. Hands on the belly. Breathe as if rocking a child to sleep. Whisper, Thank you, body, for protecting my essence. Thank you, heart, for teaching me to love without self-abandonment. Weekly ceremony. Choose one relationship and draft a covenant of reciprocity. Purpose, promises, protocols for repair. Keep it one page. Review monthly. Micro practices through the day. One conscious sip of water becomes a sovereign sip. Feel the membrane refresh. Before answering any request, place 2 fingers on the heart for a single breath. Answer from coherence. After any boundary conversation, walk for 3 minutes to metabolize adrenaline and return to baseline. Darisana in closing, high vibration seal. Master aphorism. Love expands when truth is spoken with a steady spine and a tender gaze. Quantum challenge for the next 24 hours. Speak 1 clean, no, and 1 devotional, yes, that honor your energy budget. Document sensations before and after. Celebrate the shift with a small act of beauty. Activation code. Repeat 3 times morning and night with hand over heart. I enthrone my essence. I consecrate my boundaries. I prosper in reciprocity. Con amor, Andrew.